What up, YouTube? It's IKG, formerly known as No Chains, and I am back for another commentary. And this is another episode of my Minnesota Vikings Connected franchise owner mode in Madden 25. And this week in week 3, as we are 2-0, we will be facing off against the Cleveland Browns, who are 0-2 on the season, which isn't terribly surprising if you ask me. But we're going to take a look at the injury report. Last week I told you guys that Patterson and Greenway both got hurt, and they will not be returning for 5 and 3 weeks. Cheryl, he has been out. So we're going to take a look at the Browns injury report, and they are just so banged up. They're just, what's that word, depleted. And they have Willis McGahee out. They have Brandon Whedon out. They have Schwartz out. And then they have Robinson. And then they have some people up top that I didn't get to call out. But we are at home. That's something that is new for us this season. This is our first home game. It is our home opener. And there's Adrian Peterson getting the offense hyped up so we can have a productive day like we have been for the last 2 weeks, which is pretty much the only reason why we are 2-0, because as far as our defense, we can't even stop a nosebleed right now. And we really have to get that together. I'm still trying to figure out this depth chart, trying to put people in the right places so that they could be productive. And injuries to Chad Greenway and losing Jared Allen due to my trade that I wanted to make doesn't help too much either, you know. But Brian Robinson, he's been playing very, very well. I can't really say that for the rest of the defense, but the defense, right when I'm talking trash about them or trying to motivate them, I'm not going to say talking trash about, they come up with a big play. And A.J. Jefferson, the guy who got the kick return last week versus the Bears to make it a brand new game, comes up with another big play early in this game. And as soon as we get it back, look what we do. Josh Freeman on the read option keeps it, gets hit, and it gets recovered by Paul Kruger, and he takes it for the touchdown for about 50 yards. And that is not good. As soon as the defense makes a play, our offense cannot capitalize off of it. But there will be a review, so we're going to have to let you guys see the replay and let you guys determine, you know, whether or not his knee was down. But we're going to have to say, I think his knee was down, but we're going to take a look at the replay and let you guys hear the final call. That's Barkevious Mingo forcing the alleged fumble right there. And he plays really, really great, especially on the owner modes. This guy is a beast. And I took a different approach coming into this game, and I'm going to get back to that after this call is made.
The ruling on the field is reversed.
As you guys heard, the ruling on the field was reversed. And back to what I was saying, coming into this game, I took a different approach, you know, as far as attacking this defense. This defense is very good, but they do have strengths and weaknesses. You know, they have Joe Hayden on the outside covering our best receiver, and they have some really good front 7 players. You know, they have Paul Kruger, Barkevious Mingo, and they have a few good big physical D tackles. So I wanted to pass the ball a little bit more and abuse that left side of the field if you're looking at it from the offensive perspective, because Joe Hayden, he pretty much shuts down everything. But on the left side, where our second receiver will be playing, that's a wide open gap for the defense. I'm going to be attacking that space in the defense all day today. And I wanted to throw some deeper passes with Josh Freeman to see exactly what he can do, because for the first 2 weeks of the season, he's pretty much been like a game manager and not really throwing too many passes, pretty much throwing a lot of short passes. And the reason why I take that approach is because we have Adrian Peterson for one, and he can get a lot of open receivers due to the play action and the defensive playing the run. And then I also do that because I want to prevent him from making mistakes and turn the ball over. But right there, you guys see exactly what I was talking about. I go to the left side of the field. The first play of this drive is a deep pass to Jarius Wright, and he came up big for us last week. Even though he had a few key drops, he came up big, made a lot of big plays for us, showed that he had a lot of potential, you know, to become a good receiver in the league, not only on this team but in the league, you know. And I really liked what I saw out of him, and he's continuing that into this week as we get a stop and they will be forced to punt. We're going to try to run the ball because we haven't really ran it that much with Adrian Peterson, and he only gets 4 yards on that play. This is a really good front 7, and I remind you, that's why I took the approach that I did coming into this game. And he gets a first down, new set of downs right there, and we're going to hand it off to him this time. Great blocking by Greg Jennings, and he will go into the end zone, and we take a 14-point lead. I did not mention that coming into this game, the Browns had the worst offense in the league, whereas we have the worst defense. We have the 32nd ranked defense, but like a number 6 or 7 offense, and they have a number 6 or 7 defense with the 30-second offense. So I find that very interesting, and this is a good matchup so far. It's not over yet. It's only first half, and you guys know, if you watch the first two videos, that we score a lot in the first half, or even if you watch the preseason, we score a lot in the first half, but then go scoreless in the second half. So we really need to do something about that. As you guys see, Brian Robeson gets his first sack of the day on Jason Campbell, who is tearing up our defense. I might add, him and Jordan Cameron together are pretty much just tearing apart our defense. And on the next play, Gerald Hodges will come up with a sack, and the two players that went down last week, their replacements are coming up very big, and I mean Jarius Wright and Gerald Hodges filling in for Cordero Patterson and Chad Greenway. And this offense is in a 2-minute formation right there, and we pick up a first down to Greg Jennings, and we have a new set of down. On 2nd down and 8, Freeman is back to pass, and I might mention that he has been getting great blocking. 3rd down and 8 this time. Freeman moving up in the pocket, going to hit Adrian Peterson, and he will drop the ball. So we will settle for a Blair Walsh field goal. So we increase our lead to 17 right now here in the second quarter. And look at the lack of pass rush, and that gives Jason Campbell the chance to find a wide open Jordan Cameron, and those two are just connecting for all types of passes and plays that are tearing us up. And there they are again, picking up 8 yards on that play. 2nd down and 2, they will pick it up with a run of Dion Lewis. 1st down and 10, Jason Campbell fires to Josh Gordon, and that increases their point total to 14. So there's a score of 24-14 going into halftime.
The Vikings lead by 10. Let's quickly go to Danielle Bellini. She has an update.
Guys, I spoke with Jason Campbell during halftime. Right now, his guys are trailing, but he told me he wasn't concerned at this point. He said, "We haven't played our best football."
So we received the second half kickoff, and Josh Freeman is back at the helm, and he overthrows a wide open Jarius Wright, and he is just abusing number 21. I'm not quite sure who that is, and as you guys see, he overthrows Greg Jennings. He was blanketed by Hayden on that play. But if you guys listen to Danielle Bellini, you guys heard that Jason Campbell isn't worried at all. I mean, he's sure that his team could come back. Our defense has to step it up. I mean, they only allowed 14 points, but we don't want to allow this Cleveland Browns offense to pick up any momentum so that they can come back, because this offense has been known to go cold in the second half. But A.J. Jefferson decides that he can field this one, and instead he muffs it into the end zone, and that will cause a safety. So the Browns have an 8-point deficit rather than a 10. And right after that, they're going to hit Benjamin down the sideline and getting down to around the 2-yard line. And getting beat on the coverage that time is Chris Cook, and I know you guys are really against him, but they're going to hit James. You hear that? I almost called him James Cameron, the director. But Jordan Cameron catches a touchdown right there, and then they're going to go right back to him for the 2-point conversion. And I see why Jason Campbell said that he was not worried. They have come back and tied the game, and we have yet to score here in the second half once again. And we're going to hit Greg Jennings for a first down, and we get a new set of downs. And on the next play, 1st down and 10, Josh Freeman is back with an empty backfield, going to hit Greg Jennings, and he will fumble the ball, and we were just like a few feet from it going out of bounds, but it will be recovered by Joe Hayden, and the Browns have a chance to take the lead, and they're going to hit Edwards, and I would think that was Braylon Edwards back in his Cleveland Brown days, the way he's torching our defense. And on 2nd down and 10, Jason Campbell will hit Benjamin once again, and he's just having himself a really good game. And he gets a new set of downs for the Browns. And on 2nd down and 8, he will be shut down in the backfield by Desmond Bishop right there, former Packer. And then he's going to go deep, and this one could have been intercepted if I wanted to use her. But you guys know the house rules. I am not to switch users once I have one. Once I have one pre-play, I am committed to that one for the remainder of that play. And on 2nd down and 13, we're going to hit Jarius Wright, and he is just playing amazing these last 2 weeks. I'm just amazed at the way he's come in to fill Cordero Patterson's role, and he is doing it very, very well. As you guys see, he has over 90 yards, and we're going to be sacked this time by Buster Screen. I think it's Screen or Screeny. I'm not even exactly sure. And on 2nd down and 10, immediately following that one, we're going to be sacked by Quentin Groves. And on 3rd down and 29, we're just going to try to pick up some yardage. And I thought that Adrian Peterson would be able to break a few tackles and get at least in field goal range. for Blair Walsh that time, but he could not, so we will be forced to punt it, and they're going to hand off to Deion Lewis, their workhorse today. Obviously, he's been playing great, 22 rushes and 79 yards. That's definitely a solid day for a running back. And on 1st down and 10, they're going to hit Jordan Cameron once again, and he gets to midfield at exactly the 50, and he has 6 receptions for 87 yards. And look at, I believe that's Sanford making a great play in the backfield, and on 2nd down and 11, Jason Campbell is back to pass, and he will be sacked by Brian Robeson, and that is his 2nd sack of the day. So he's been in the face of Jason Campbell pretty much all day. However, he hasn't been able to force Jason Campbell to make any bad throws, and on 3rd down and 18, Jordan Cameron almost picks up a 1st down. And on 4th down and 4, they're going to end up punting it, but they fake it, and Lanning is back there to throw a pass, and A.J. Jefferson picks it off. He has been playing great. I mean, he's a great special teams player. He scored last week, and this time on special teams, he comes up with an interception on a fake. So he makes up for getting that muffed safety punt right there. And on 1st down and 10, Josh Freeman's going to hit Jarius Wright, and he could have coughed that ball up right there as he goes over 100 yards on the day. And on 1st down and 10, we're going to try a screen to Adrian Peterson and let him make something out of nothing, and Paul Kruger will be called for a face mask call. So that will be putting the Vikings on the 22-yard line with about 2 minutes left, a little bit over. So that penalty will stop the clock. And on 2nd down and 5, after the 2-minute warning, we're going to hand off to Adrian Peterson, and he is just a few inches away from taking the lead. But I'm not that excited about it because we still have to play defense, because we're going to leave them with 3 timeouts and over a minute left. And Adrian Peterson does end up scoring right there. So he gets us down there, and he was rewarded with a touchdown. This has been a crazy game. We have muffed punt safeties. We have punters throwing interceptions. This is a very crazy game, and it should have a really good finish. Our defense has to play better during this drive in the clutch moments if we want to walk away undefeated after this game. And moving around in the pocket is Jason Campbell. Our pass rush is not there. They're going to hit Benjamin once again. He's just going off, and this time Jason Campbell's going deep, and it almost is picked off by Harrison Smith. He's playing great on our defense. That's the bright spot of our defense outside of Brian Robeson's play, and he could have came up with an interception right there, but he dropped it. And they have picked up Carlson, and that is the tight end that we cut for cap reasons in the preseason. And this time Jason Campbell will be sacked, and that forces a 4th down. 4th down and 7 after the sack by Bishop. From the shotgun formation, Jason Campbell is going to lob this one up to Barnage, and that will be a turnover on downs allegedly, but there will be a review to see if he did get his feet down. That was a very bad effort by Barnage that time. He didn't even try to get his other foot down, but we're going to take a look and see if he did, and it definitely looks like he did not get his 2nd foot down. 1 foot, and it seems like that 2nd foot came down out of bounds. The game is riding on this call.
The ruling on the field stands.
And the call will stand, and that will allow the Vikings to go into a victory formation as they move to 1-0 at home, 2-0 in the division, and 3-0 on the regular season. And this game should not have even been this good. We have to do something about the offense going cold in the second half. Adrian Peterson played great. Although I did come into this game with a different approach, he still had a very nice day. 3 touchdowns. You got to give it up for him. Like I said, we're 3-0. We should not have struggled like this versus this banged up 0-2 Browns team. You know, I have to be a little bit disappointed. You guys have to be a little bit disappointed because this team already isn't that good, and then on top of that, they're banged up, and then we struggle with them. But, you know, it's not about how you win. It's about that you win, period. And, you know, I take an ugly win over a beautiful loss any day, and I'm sure 90% of owners and coaches will tell you the same thing, but we're going to take a look at the stats. Josh Freeman still didn't do too great, didn't turn the ball over, so I can only be content with that. I'm not going to be mad at him for not making the, you know, stat line with, you know, filled with touchdowns and a lot of attempts, not like Tom Brady and these other great quarterbacks like Drew Brees, because our focal point of the offense is to run the ball. You guys know that. But, yeah, like I said, we move on to 3-0. That's a surprise. This is definitely a story on the season because the Vikings were probably the little brother of this division. You know, they were probably going to be the last, you know, team in the division. You know, if you looked at the power rankings rankings and you looked at preseason, predictions, this was probably predicted to be the last team. And as you guys see, we sit atop of the division 3-0 over the Browns. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Browns, the Bears, Lions, and Packers. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.